Me up at the speed again. What was your like? Because you went from Echo 2.8 and then snipers, but what was like the story? If you could walk me through of like your time
Yeah.
in.
Yeah, for sure. So, went to boot camp in June of 2017, and then went to ITB, and of course, boot camp on the East Coast, and then went to ITB, and then they made me a rifleman. I dropped to 2.8 Echo Company, and that was who I was with for the rest of their workup. Post Bridgeport, and then I was with them for the UDP, and so I was getting crap for not going to Bridgeport and not being a Bridgeport veteran, but
Yeah.
yeah. So that was a lot of fun. And then we got back from the UDP, and we got some new guys to our platoon, first platoon Echo Company, like Austin Farley, Caleb Elmore, those guys, and we started the workup for the Mew together, and Ryan Bellinger, Jacob Cahill, both of them, and first platoon with all of us, and then like kind of early on in the workup, we all decided to run the indoc together. And well, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I think Elmore may have done the indoc. I think he did the indoc before all of us, so he was already in the platoon, in the sniper platoon when we were running the indoc.
Mhm.
Because I remember us like kind of being like mad at like all the pigs it like who were kind of running the indoc, because so if you haven't gone to sniper school yet, you're still a pig.
Yeah.
If you go to sniper school, you're
Yeah,
a hog. Yeah.
yeah, if you don't mind, I know you're explaining it,
Mhm.
but I was phasing off. What was because like I've always heard like the hog and the pig terminology for
Yeah.
snipers. Can you break that down for me just one more time? Because I even then I'm still hazy on it myself.
Yeah. Right. Right. I'm kind of blanking on the acronyms, like what exactly the acronyms
Okay,
mean.
great. Yeah.
So maybe you'd have to get back to me on that one.
Are we gonna need to call Cahill or Bellinger and get
Yeah,
them
they
on
would
to
probably
explain?
they would probably know. Yeah, I don't know off the top of my head right now, but I know when you're running the indoc, you're not a pig or a hog, you're what's called a slug.
Huh. Okay.
And I know that in acronym, it's slow, lazy, untrained gunman.
Okay.
And so all of the slugs were kind of mad at the pigs, because the pigs were the ones like running the indoc, or helping to run the indoc almost, and like they didn't have to like do the hard stuff with us.
Hmm.
And so it was kind of funny. I mean, not really at the time, but looking back on it, it's kind of funny because Elmore was Ryan, Jacob, and I guess you would say like boot or whatever,
Yeah.
like new guy to the fleet.
Hmm.
But since he made it into the sniper platoon, like the roles were kind of reversed,
Okay.
at that point,
Yeah.
because like he was kind of over us,
Uh-huh.
and we were running the indoc, if I'm remembering it correctly. And so that was kind of funny.
Hmm.
And then so we ran the indoc together, and so yeah, I didn't end up getting picked. Austin Farley, Ryan Bellinger, Jacob Cale, Brandon Simpson, all those guys got picked, went to the sniper platoon. I didn't get picked. I didn't, prove myself enough, or like, kind of put myself out there
Hmm.
enough. That was kind of their reasoning behind it. And so I stayed in Echo Company first platoon, while those guys, of course, went to the sniper platoon, and so I was with first platoon for WTI, like Talon X, that sort of thing,
Yeah.
and they were with snipers for that whole training operation. And just to get back to my kind of story, they called me like after we got back from WTI, like that whole kind of like I don't know if you'd call it ITX, but like pseudo
Yeah,
ITX.
yeah, the same essentially.
Yeah. Um After we got back, like Ryan and Jacob were, putting in a good word for me, at the sniper platoon, and like they had a couple spots open up, and like I was one of the guys like to come over, or that they, invited over. And I thought it would be cool because we were going on a Mew, and it sounded like we actually might do our jobs and like see something.
Yeah.
And I thought it would be cool to be in snipers because maybe I would see something, or I would be able to like actually do infantry stuff before the other guys, maybe,
Yeah.
Um, so, but it was definitely an experience for sure. And, I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I did it.
Now, the outside rumor that I've heard, and maybe this is just a lot of people just being
Mhm.
haters, but I've always heard that like snipers is very cliquish, at least when they try to like let you in. Is that true, or what would you say to that?
What do you mean when they let you in?
I guess it's like it's a very like I don't know if tribal would be the word, but like
Mhm.
they have an expectation of like who they want, and like and if they don't feel like you would be somebody that they would
Mm.
get along with or that they would
Oh,
like, then they
yeah,
won't let you in.
for
Kind of
sure,
thing.
for sure. No,
And I'm not saying I agree with that, but
no,
it's just that's the outside
no, and I think
stereotype.
I think that's perfectly reasonable on their part. Like even if you're doing everything you're supposed to be doing, like you're doing your job, but they just don't like you, or they don't really feel like they can get along with you or work with you. That's totally that's totally within their power. I think that's totally fine. On their part to not want that guy like in their platoon or something like that,
Yeah.
because that cohesion is super important. Everybody needs to work together well. And so I mean I totally I think that's totally fine. I mean, even if like I'm the one not like getting picked or whatever, like if you guys don't think that I could work with you like well enough or whatever, and obviously like there's a really important mission that needs to be accomplished, like go ahead. It's probably better that like that kind of person isn't involved.
Mhm.
So uh yeah, but in terms of the cliquishness of snipers, I mean, I think you find that kind of everywhere
Oh,
in,
absolutely.
weapons company and the other, the rifle companies as well.
Human nature, essentially.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. And so I don't think that it's something that's peculiar to snipers to be cliquish.
Mhm.
I mean, maybe there's more of a kind of a haughty sort of prideful cliquishness with them because they get to wear the op score helmets,
Yeah.
and I don't know, like their plate carriers that they don't get from SIF that they like buy on their own and stuff, and like they look
Yeah.
cool and whatever, and like they're shooting like the cool sniper rifles and stuff, and
Yeah.
so
Well, plus because you also have the name like Scout Sniper.
yeah, like that's
you
pretty
have that brand.
that's pretty cool.
Like
That's pretty cool.
nobody's
Yeah.
gonna ask if you were good or
Yeah.
not, or like if
Yeah.
you were a good human being or not.
Yeah.
It's like it's like being a machine gunner. It's like you have a cool name attached to you.
Yeah, right, for sure. Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, so but yeah, no, and then and so I did the deployment with the sniper platoon, and I got back from deployment, and oh man, when I was on deployment, everybody was joking with me, or giving me crap that I would be going on the UDP, like the next like deployment
Yeah.
or something with them, because I still had like enough time left in my contract or something. Or maybe it wasn't that. Maybe it was like